Hello, my name is Foul Play Gaming and welcome to today's Achroma video. Today we're going to be doing a short video discussing a community-based topic of should we add the community rule of Mulligan into Achroma. So what Mulligan means is it is a community rule of being able to change your starting hand before the game starts. The reason this topic has come up is because whether you've played some games of Achroma or not, you will eventually notice that there is a common theme, which is because you only draw 5 cards at the start of Achroma, and because you don't draw cards every single turn if you're having to trade, if you don't have a good starting hand, that can be a significant difference between winning and losing. And I personally have played quite a few games where, purely down to a bad starting hand, I have just had no chance of winning. It has just been a flat out loss for me. So with that in mind, the community have been discussing the idea of doing a community add Mulligan rule. Now in other card games, Mulligan rule works in multiple different ways. A common Mulligan rule is you pick up your drawing hand, you put back a certain amount of cards based on which ones you don't like, and you draw to get your cards back up to 5. And then you have to give 1 card away, so you'd start on 4 cards for the benefit of mulliganing. In the community, we decided this probably isn't the best way to play it for 2 reasons. 1, by only putting back the cards you don't like and drawing more, that's kind of overpowered because you could potentially then have the other side of the coin, which is a overpowered hand. And secondly, by going down that rule of if you do mulligan, you only start with 4 cards in your hand, that's not really very good for Achroma because you don't get to draw naturally on every turn if you're having to trade, so therefore you're going to essentially not have very many cards in your hand in the early game, which will also cause you to lose the game. So in the community, the kind of Goldilocks way that we would play the Mulligan rule is as follows. Draw your initial 5 cards, look at them, assess them. If you do not think you have a very strong hand, you may choose to mulligan. If so, place all 5 cards down and draw a further 5 cards. This is your new starting hand. Regardless of whether this hand is better or not, take the original 5 cards that you put away, put them back into your palette, and then shuffle your palette ready to go. In this situation, you could still start with a bad starting hand, maybe even a worse one. But the risk that you are doing is that if you have a second chance to have a good starting hand without the overpoweredness of being able to pick and choose which cards you have. So that is the Mulligan rule that we in the community are suggesting you try out if you are finding that you are often having games that your starting hand literally ruins the game for you. If you do have a go at this Mulligan rule, I'd really appreciate you leaving a comment or letting us know in the Achroma community Discord as to whether you think it works or not. If you think that is a terrible idea to mulligan, or you think there's a better way to mulligan, again, let me know in the comments. To accompany this video, I've actually now going to play for you a community game that was played on stream where I offered to the other player, Ems, to have a chance at mulliganing. She decided, nah, it's fine, I'll just give it a go. And as you'll see, the game was over pretty quickly. Just to kind of highlight the Mulligan rule. Let's give that a watch.
I guess we could play with that, but you know.
Personally, I'm not going to mulligan, but if you want to do any mulligan, I'll give you the choice.
I mean, it's not the greatest, but I don't know.
That's fine. If you're ready, as long as you haven't like picked up a terrible set of 5 cards, if you just want to start as it is, then that is all fine.
It is pretty terrible, but
okay.
I'm gonna roll with it.
All right.
I'm gonna roll with it.
Fair play, fair play. I am going to do quite a strong start, to be honest.
Ooh.
But I'm always nervous of.
My life choice.
Yeah, I'm always nervous of strong starts because you could just have a card that just blips it away really quickly. Otherwise, we'll just restart. So I'm going to play Countess Dora for 6. Brings me down to 4. And then I will also play a Rabid Dog for 2. And I will also play a Curdle Crazed. Actually, you know what? No, I'll save him. There's actually no point in me playing him now, so I don't care that you've seen it. My resolve phase is to steal, but obviously because I go for because you haven't had your turn yet, nothing happens now. I will end my turn by drawing. All right, and over to you.
Okay, I'm going to start my turn with a draw.
All good?
No, not quite all good.
Okay.
So let's play a restock, where for 2 shards I draw 2 cards.
honestly, probably one of the best cards you can get at the start of your game, because at least it's why would you not want it at the start?
Okay, no, that's not actually that bad. Okay, good job I played it. Right, now I've got 3 cards that I can play. I've just got to make sure that you don't ruin my build up here, because it's the build up of characters that are going to help me.
And I'll be honest, it's one of the reasons why I've got Isadora out so early, because it's that's a deterrent for you to playing any good characters, because I'll just flip them away.
Yeah, so what I'm going to immediately do is play Curdle Woods.
Yeah, that's a restrain, right?
Yep, to restrain for 3.
Curdle Woods.
3.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put my Isadora turned over and like that, so that's been restrained.
I'm gonna place down Lidtham City Guard.
Yep.
For 1. So that's so that ends my turn.
Awesome.
And I've got 5 shards left.
So I will start my turn by... So I'm actually going to trade Silent Thicket, which I wanted to hold on to it, but you've kind of forced my hand a little bit. So just to be very clear, I'm doing this before the attack phase. I'm playing an action of Achroma Surge for 3, which erases all locations. So you could argue it's a bit of a waste to use it now, but at least it does mean I get my countess back before the attack phase.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll use Isadora, because she's now very angry that you restrained her in her own town, because obviously she's the obviously the Countess of Curdle, and you restrained her in her own woods. Yeah. So yeah, she's going to kill the Ludlam City Guard.
The guard waiting in front of woods.
Yeah, exactly. She's escaped. She cast Achroma Surge to free herself, and then beat up the guard on the way out. Bit of lore there. Yeah. And then in my deployment phase, you know what? Wait. Ooh, this is going to be close. So for 1, I'm going to play Crazed Curdle Resident. Crazed Curdle Resident there, which his action is he instantly minuses 1 from you. Then in my resolve phase, I get to steal 3. So I'm going to leave you to 1.
Oh, wow.
And I will end my turn by drawing.
This is horrible.
You're now forced to trade.
I am, but it's not enough. It's never enough.
You might have to double trade to even survive the next turn. Yeah.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have to trade my lovely detective.
Raxia.
Whatever her name is. Yeah, I don't know.
Poor Raxia.
To give me 4 shards.
Fair enough.
Get me back up to 5.
That will now mean you're safe for your next turn, depending on what else I play. Because obviously that curse Resident was only a one-off action. So at the moment, my net steal from you is 3.
But that means I can't really play anything. I'm, as much as it loathes me, because I think this would actually be quite handy later on. I'm just gonna have to skip right to the end.
Yep.
And then trade in my Cronus staff.
Ooh, yeah.
I keep turning it round.
That's right. And I'm guessing that's the end of your turn?
That's the end of my turn.
I apologize I made you have to do that. So I'm going to start by drawing. Nothing I can attack, but in my deployment phase, I will play a Occultist Warlock for 2. I will then go to my resolve, which is to steal 4 of those lovely shards back. And end my turn by drawing. Yes.
Oh, I should have mulliganed at the start.
Maybe,
Why
yeah.
did I not do that?
But it kind of highlights the reason why a lot of the community are talking about a kind of homebrew mulligan rule, because you know, your deck you're using now is a very good deck, proven by the fact that you beat us in that last game relatively convincingly. It just goes to show, if you don't get a good starting hand, especially against a deck like mine that's very aggressive, it's like, well, good luck.
Yeah. Well, I drew, and I'm immediately regretting it. So.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, there's literally nothing I can do here.
Apart from trade at the end,
you're just gonna, because there's nothing that I can play in my hand that actually would help me gain.
Unless you had, the only thing you could do is if you had something that somehow wiped out all my characters, at least you then know that you're not going to get stolen away. But even still, with 4 shards, probably haven't got a card like that.
I'm gonna have to trade in the Curdle Woods.
Okay.
It's the only thing high enough, but for another 3. And yeah, that is my entire turn.
So okay, so my turn. I drew. I can't attack anything. I'm going to play Oculus. Then again, again, you know, on the flip side, not only have you had a really bad starting hand, I've had a really good one. I had Count Isadora in my initial hand, and I've picked up Oculus Den a couple of turns later. Once per turn, I can dig for a character. I haven't got one, so it's fine. My resolve is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stealing 6 from you. That's just like, it's almost.
That's brutal.
It's almost what's it called? It's almost harsh that I wasn't able to finish you off, because what's the chances that, let's be honest, I'll end my turn by drawing, I'll call it that. But what's the chances that you have any way of double trading to not have me steal to the finish next turn?
Nothing. There is literally nothing that I can do. Every card in my hand right now is either a 1 or a 2. I will show you my wonderful hand. As you can see here, not much value in it.
Yeah.
So I think I might just have to fold, but bow down to the Countess.
Fair enough. So just for those that didn't kind of like see probably what's going on in chat, is what Emza's situation is, even if she was to trade one of those cards now and trade one at the end of a turn, correct me if I'm wrong, the maximum shards you would gain is 5 there? Am I right in saying that? Or was it be 4?
Yeah.
5 is the max?
The maximum I could gain is 5.
Yeah, so that would leave Ems on 6.
Yeah. Unless I miraculously draw into like my 6.
Do you want to try that? Do you want to start your turn by drawing and see whether it's something you could trade at the end?
But believe in the heart of the cards. No.
Okay.
I have a 2 shard, so
effectively, no matter what happened there on my next turn, even if I played nothing else, which by the way, on my next turn I could have got down another 3 drain as well, even if you had it done.
Wow.
So I will drain my way to victory. And there we go. There is a prime example of where if she had decided to mulligan, then she would have had a better starting hand and potentially might have won. Now, unfortunately, without completely erasing the game and starting from the get-go, we wouldn't have known for certain whether she would have won by mulliganing, but the cards that she drew after her first hand were definitely better, and she would have had a much better chance. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about the mulligan rule, and if you do give it a go in any of your games, I'd love to know how it goes, so again, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, guys, thank you for joining me for this video, have a great rest of your day, and as always, stay wholesome.